What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? It's Monday, the 8th of March. The Uncle Joey's Joint is brought to you by DraftKings. It's the fucking week. March Mayhem is fucking here. Alley-oop, cocksuckers. It's March, and that means it's time for the biggest college basketball tournament of the fucking year. To celebrate, DraftKings is going completely fucking insane. You ready for this one? Here it is. You bet $4 as an underdog. If they win, you're up $256. That's fucking madness. All it takes is $4 to get you a shot at winning $256. The fucking bank is open. If anybody knows about betting an underdog, it's your Uncle Joey. Look at me now. I was an underdog at one time. There's no better way to put your college basketball knowledge to the test than putting your money where your mouth is at DraftKings Sportsbook right now. College ball ain't for you? DraftKings Sportsbook offers great odds and promotions on golf, hockey, NBA, MMA, whatever you need, they got for you. Who's fucking better than them? Nobody. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Joey when you sign up to turn $4 into $256 if the underdog of your choosing pulls off the upset. That's code Joey to turn $4 into $256 for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Here's the part the lawyers make me say. You got to be 21 or older. If you're younger than that, go fuck yourself. New Jersey, Indiana, PA only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Now, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-9-WITH-IT if you're in Indiana. But if everything's clear and you're down and you're ready to make some money, go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, right now. Right now, it's Monday, and there's action tonight on the NBA. There's got to be something going on. Bet small, whatever you want, but you can't miss out on this deal. You bet $4 on the underdog. If they win, you're up $256. That's fucking insane. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and tell them Uncle Joey sent you. Pressin' Joey. The joint is also brought to you by Blue Chew. The bluebird of happiness came to me this Monday morning and whispered in my ear. For harder, stronger fucking erections, get Blue Chew. If you want your dick to be in combat fucking form, you gotta get some Blue Chew. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable dick pill. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis at a fraction of a cost. This isn't that fucking snake oil they sell you at the fucking liquor store. The guy don't even fucking hablo inglés. Blue Chew is an online prescription service. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no fucking waiting in line at the pharmacy. Sign up at BlueChew.com, talk to one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you receive your prescription within days. And I got a special deal for you. You ready for this one? Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code Joey at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. That's it. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code Joey to receive your first month free. 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 And as always, I want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the joint. But try Blue Chew for free. Go to Blue Chew right now and use promo code Joey at checkout and just pay $5 for shipping, all right? BlueChew.com right now, pressing code Joey, and get your dick in tip-top Magoo fucking shape. Muscles, everything. It's going to look fucking tremendous. The joint is also brought to you by CBD Lion. Whether it's 1,000 milligram extra strength cream, the kinesiology tape, now they have pills, listen, go to CBDLion.com for starters. Read up on CBD and how it can help you. They have milk chocolate. If you want to put it through your lungs, they got the vapor pen. If you want to put it on your knee the way I did, use the kinesiology tape. The tropical gummies are fucking tremendous. The raspberry gummies are fucking tremendous. They got a fucking bath ball that you throw in the bath and you could soak your knees, your shoulders. Listen, CBD Lion is tremendous. I've been talking to you about them for the last fucking 3 years, and now it's battle tested. They helped me survive a fucking surgery. I'm off the pain medication. Thank you, CBD Lion. Go to CBDLion.com right now and press in church. Search or Joey and get 20% off your order delivered right to your house. No more buying fucking CBD at a liquor store or at a shoe store. You're safe here with Uncle Joey. Go to CBD Lion. I want to thank CBD Lion. I want to thank fucking Blue Chew, and I want to thank DraftKings. Let's get this motherfucking party started, bitches. Here we go. It's Monday, cocksuckers. You got a second chance of being a fucking savage.
Hey, how you doing? Come on in. Yeah, Joey's in the back.
Check 1, 2. Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint.
What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? It's Monday. The 8th of March was a great weekend. I'm happy you're here. The fights were great. I mean, it was fucking, I couldn't ask for a better weekend. My knee's feeling a lot better. Last week was weird because I worked so hard over the weekend in the gym and then PT on Monday and Wednesday and podcasts and all that shit. Fucking Thursday and Friday. I mean, Thursday I worked out, but Friday I was fucking dead. The week caught up with me, and then Saturday I didn't do much. Sunday I didn't do much. I watched the honeymooners with the girls and fucking. But the good news is I'm off the pain pills a week now. It's official. We made it through with no addictions. I gave the pills to my wife just in case to hold. There's tons of them left. I'm happy to get over that. The knee still. Today's a 2-year anniversary of the fucking surgery, so we made it over the fucking hump. My leg hasn't fallen off. Every day I'm walking, I think my knee's going to just detach, and I'm going to look down and see my fucking leg from the knee down just sitting there. I swear to God, I get the weirdest fucking things. But I'm all right. We made it. I'm happy I did it, and we're here for another fun-filled week on the fucking podcast. I went back to Zoom today. I had such a great time last week on Zoom, seeing Doug on Zoom, and I saw that you guys enjoyed it. Listen, I never liked the one man, and I hope this doesn't go wrong with anybody when I'm saying this. I love Bill Burr. I'm a big fan of Bill Burr's. Always have been, always will be. I always thought doing the one man thing was overwhelming, me being by myself. But I had to work through it during the COVID. If not, I would just be a fucking dead mute. So I figured that's the best way to do it, and I would do it with Zoom. I think with Zoom at times, the love gets lost. Like if you don't have a stable relationship with that person, you can't see it through Zoom. But I've been wrong before. I really enjoyed the Stanhope podcast. Personally, as a human being, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it, the feel of it. I guess it's what it's going to be from now on for a while until we can have guests in here. You know, I live an hour from the city, so not a lot of people are going to be voluntarily raising their fucking hand to come down here. So my plan was always to get an office up north and have guests. That was always the plan. But with the COVID and shit like that, it's too rough. I saw it on people's faces in LA. It's rough to, thank God we had the door, and thank God it was faced to the outside. The office wasn't a building. That made it a lot easier to get guests. But during this now, it's hard to inflict. It's hard to, can you imagine if you bring a guest in and he gets sick and he brings it home and gets his family sick? A couple people got sick from doing podcasts. They got together like big bunches and they got sick from podcasts. And that's why I'm against it. But once fucking, I don't want you guys to think I'm doing the podcast solo because I think I'm that fucking interesting. I'm the world's most interesting man. No. It's not based on ego or anything. That's why whenever I saw somebody doing an hour podcast or two by themselves, I'm like, fuck, it takes a lot to think that people want to hear you for fucking 2 hours, but there's no stand-up comedy now, so it's like fucking stealing. It's like just doing 2 hours of stand-up comedy here, but at the end of the week, it's 3 months of just seeing my fucking ugly face every fucking Monday and Wednesday. So you got to get somebody else in here. So today we went over to Zoom, and we had a nice intimate chat with our brother, DEAN DELRAY. We talked about, I saw that he tweeted the Rhino Records on Saturday about Black Sabbath. Rhino Records is having like a March Madness, like a March Heavy Metal Madness month or something like that it's called. So they sent me some great albums. They sent me, they were the ones that sent me Volume 4, and they sent me Heaven and Hell and The Mob Rules by Black Sabbath, all James Dio albums. That they haven't released Humanizer yet, but they did release Mob Rules, a re-release. So they sent them to the house. So when I saw that Dean retweeted, I called him right up and I go, "You're not going to believe this. Rhino sent me those two." And, you know, I listened to Heaven and Hell and I listened to Mob Rules both nights this week. Like I was telling Dean during the podcast, you guys will hear that my wife goes to bed early some nights. She's fucking tired. My wife is over here cleaning the house, taking care of me, and taking care of my fucking daughter. She's tired. So instead of just sitting there and watching TV during this pandemic, I figured out that I would just bring a notebook at night, come back here. I sit back here, just like I'm doing a podcast. I put my feet up and I put an album on. I listen to Heaven and Hell, and it was just tremendous. And then the Mob Rules, I forgot that Dean had always said to me that his favorite song was The Sign of the Southern Cross. I listened to that and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. I forgot how great those albums were. And this is all part of the comedy catch-up that, like I was telling Dean, you guys will see, I put so much of myself into comedy that I lost touch with music. And then over the years with the podcast, once I got reconnected with music, that's what cleared my mind a little bit, and that's what got me back here. So anyway, instead of me talking any more shit, I want to present DEAN DELRAY to you, all right? That's it, and that's that. I hope you fucking enjoy it. I'll be back afterward to check in with you and read you on the way out. Enjoy it. Welcome, my friend. How are you, DEAN DELRAY?
I'm good. How about you?
Good to have you on Uncle Joey's Joint. I miss you to death, It's good to see you. Listen, I fucking hate Zooming, but if it means I get to see you, then so be it. You could just do so much talking on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's great. You look great, man. I got to tell you, your skin looks great, and you look fantastic, man.
Brother, it's been a rehaul of my life since I got back here. Like, it's just been a complete haul from the reefer. Like, I'm cut down on reefer smoke 50%. I only eat the edibles at night to go to sleep now. The surgery went well, as we discussed on the phone. I got off the pain pills with no fucking drama. That's big, I've been lifting, I've been working out, and I just getting stronger every day, brother.
That's great, man. That's great. I know my neck's all good.
You look great too, man. It's good to see that you look fucking great.
Nonstop. Fuck, I do 5 miles a day and then some yoga and YouTube exercises. It's my gym now, the YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
I go to the gym. The PT keeps me busy. It's an hour and a half, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then I go to the gym opposite that. I try to go 2 or 3 days, but this week it hit me a little hard this week. Like by Thursday, I didn't make PT on Friday because I was fucking wiped the fuck out last week for some reason. After I got off the pain meds, I think on Sunday, and I was having headaches. But by Thursday, like from working out all weekend and the 2 PTs, and lifting and Tuesday and Thursday, I think Friday I just broke down, man. Like I was supposed to go see Sam Tripoli Friday night. I had plans with my fucking wife already. And Saturday, I had some Patreon stuff to do. And I just couldn't get myself to get out of the house that night. I took I shower, I go out, I take my rides. I got my friends in the neighborhood, but as far as going out and you know, I just don't have the fucking whatever yet. I'm not emotionally there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a show last night. Felt good. I got 2 tonight. And it feels good to get on stage. It feels like when I first started, I get a little butterflies. I'm trying to remember the material, the new stuff, and it is kind of a cool way to do comedy, because when you do it as much as we did it and then you don't do it, you feel like you got the feeling back again, the feels of like what it's like, oh, I'm on stage. That's such a weird thing.
You know, when I go down there on Wednesday nights, once I hit the stage, I'm having a good time. I'm not lying to you when I'm telling you I am having a good time. But just the thought process of it and getting dressed and going down there, that's the hard thing. Like during the week, I'll ask myself on a Tuesday night, Joey, get up, go out, take a ride. And it's like I can't even do that. Like I've become such a family guy at the house. You know, I have 2 friends I grew up with in North Bergen that live close by. I mean, 2 of them. It's amazing. So they carry the blunt of my load. I'm either at one guy's house or the other guy's house. I go over there for an hour every night. When I was injured, they came here every night. We smoke a bowl outside. We watch some TV. You know, we're all in our 50s. Those 2 guys are 2 years older than me, but I hung out with them at concerts and shit. The one guy I went to concerts with a lot, he's the one that gave me the 8-track with the song remains the same on it, and the Allman Brothers live at the Fillmore. So now, 30 years later, we've reconnected. I see him a lot, so I'm writing on the book. We got the proposal down, the 3 chapters.
Wow.
Myself and Erica, yeah, we got the 3 chapters down. And, inside, you ever been like in a Twilight Zone place? Like, I'm not making any progress, I say to myself every week. But when I really look at it on Sundays, I am making progress. We're doing a podcast, we're writing a book. So what? I'm not writing jokes. That's okay. I've been writing jokes for the last 30 fucking years. That's okay. I've learned to accept this new role as suburban dad, like a suburban fucking dad, So it's kind of fun, but I do miss you guys. That's just the way life is. I miss seeing you guys. I mean, it's been a year since I've been at the store, and that's like bittersweet in a way. Like one part of me, it makes me happy, but the other part of me makes me really sad that my job of 22 years shut down. It's going to open up now. It'll be open by the end of the month, hopefully. I think so. I think the game is over. I think whatever was going on now, people have had enough. I think Americans have had enough. And Americans are going, wait a second, I got a 94% survival rate. I'm going through all this. I knew people who wouldn't leave their room, never mind the house, during the pandemic. Now they're out. They're out. They finally came to the conclusion that, fuck it, I'd rather die than be in a bedroom. And a lot of people going through mental health issues right now. A lot of people are frustrated. Unemployment checks aren't getting there. It's just that the world is in a weird place, but we're still making strides. You're doing your Patreon. You've had the best 6 months I've seen. I mean, I want to congratulate you on AC/DC, and you just had some fucking last week. You had the guy fucking Gary Newman here in my I mean, it just shows you that guys like us, we're a little older, and we adapted. Bill Burr adapted. This teaches people how to adapt, and we just didn't shut down. We kept going. I shut down for 1 month because I was moving. I shut down in August, mid-August. We did all the podcasts, but I shut down September, and just to evaluate myself. And thank God I kept in touch with Mike and Fanny, and they kept pushing me to, let's go, you got to do this, and I'm happy I did it, because if I would have waited till now, I would have been still fucked. I would have been more fucked up. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, because, it's funny how loyal fans can be, but if you're shut down for 6 months, man, out of sight, out of mind, they've moved on. It's really wild.
You know, for me, I don't consider them fans. I consider them family, you know.
Exactly.
And, you know, I put it together in my head. It took me 10 long years to understand what I was doing with this podcast, what I was saying on here. I was burying my soul, you know, and it's, I think people need this right now. I think people want to know that even the people they think that are bulletproof are not bulletproof. We bleed when we get cut. You know, I've said it for years. We all put our pants on one leg at a time. So with the Joey's joint, I took it in a different direction. Obviously, there's no pot smoking anymore. You know, I only smoke for the music section of the podcast.
Yeah.
I want to just, you know, I'm in the house with my daughter. I got to respect her and what's going on. That's why my pot smoke consumption has gone down. I mean, I've cut it in half.
Wow.
It's amazing. The edibles, I haven't done an edible in the daytime. I don't know how long it's been.
You could probably buy a second house with the cutback that you did. Get a rental going.
It's crazy how my appetite's coming back finally. For a long time, I lost my appetite after the surgery. Oh, yeah. Fucking last night, I took the edible to go. I was tired, so I said, "Let me make my fucking little tea. Let me put my sleeping edible in there." Oh my God, I laid down and the fucking hunger woke me up. I had to fucking go eat some cheese enchiladas my wife made yesterday or the day before. I just put them down, so I'm fucking happy that, you know, I got my appetite back. I wasn't eating at night no more. Like that stopped. That stopped like in August, me eating at night, and it's amazing how much my life changed. And I knew in April that a lot of lives, people were going to change careers. People were going to look at their lives and go, fuck this, I've been doing it wrong all along. For me, I hadn't done anything wrong. You know, the reefer and stuff, obviously, you know, when you're doing 2,000 milligrams a fucking day,
woo,
you're going to look like a fucking bomb hit you, you know, even though I was taking care of myself. But I think what got lifted off me was I got off the conveyor belt.
Yeah, I got hamster.
I got off the Ferris wheel, and it took a long time to get adjusted to that because I'm a street guy like you. We're hustlers. We don't stop. We're like sharks. You know, and you were in a band for 30 years, then you became a comic. I've been a comic for 30 years. Mike just got me a guitar. I'm going to get my first lesson on Monday. Today I get my first lesson. What am I talking about? Today I get my first lesson. This
That's
afternoon.
so great.
Yes. I tried the YouTube thing. I picked up a few things, but I just want to catch the basics from this guy. And then I got all of you guys to help me. I got guys on Patreon sending me tapes. Mike's going to help me a little bit. So I guess I'm going to grow up to be the next fucking Mark Maron and play the guitar. And hopefully in a couple of years you'll do a AC/DC reunion again when we're in our 60s and we could fucking bang it out.
Yeah.
And be like the Stones Jr. and shit.
Joey up there, Malcolm Diaz.
Malcolm Diaz, fuck yeah.
It's funny, I learned guitar on a video called Learn Guitar on the VCR. And I bought it on, I bought it on late night TV. Have you ever wanted to learn guitar? Now it's easier than ever with Learn Guitar on the VCR. So I got the tape, and then I bought one of those shitty small TVs with the built-in VCR, and I rented out a small little studio in downtown San Francisco, and I went there 10 hours a day like I did comedy, and I popped that tape in, and I just would learn 10 hours a day, and by the end of the year, I wrote a record and had a record deal. It was crazy.
No shit.
Yeah, and then I put that record out, man, and toured all over the place.
No shit. That's how you got into all this?
Well, I played music forever as a singer, and I could play a little bit of guitar, but I was like, I need to learn the guitar inside and out so I can write my own songs, because I kept hearing songs in my head, and I was only writing lyrics and melody, but I needed to write music also. So I said, I'm taking a year off, and I'm going to do this. And shit, man, it was one of the best things I ever did besides doing comedy. You know, I battled it the same way as doing comedy. I just dug deep into it.
That's what you have to do, you know, when you fall in love with something. So the first week I just looked at YouTube and picked up some pointers. And at night I just go back in the office. And now this week I had the courage to put an album on. And just like instead of lip syncing, guitar syncing over it, you know, like just fucking around. Just listen, man, it keeps my mind fresh. I started reading again. I got to the point, Dean, where I was trying to read like the Halford book. Jimmy Florentine gave me the Halford book. Do you know I read that whole book in like 4 days, and I can't tell you what I read?
Oh, isn't that weird? I'm the same way.
That happened to me with 2 fucking books, Dean. Not 1, 2. And I was so furious. I go, I can't even like, people don't understand. Like, people call me or contact me to do things. Like, I had an audition last week, 11 pages. Good fucking luck. Good fucking luck. Good luck. I'm not going to. It was 2 scenes. I put 1 scene up. I'm like, I'm not going to remember 2 fucking. There's no way. It was like 18 little fucking things. You can't read on tape with your glasses on. You look like a fucking jerk off. So you got to know this shit off book. I couldn't get it off book. There's no fucking way. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to start reading books I've already read. So I started with The Man Who Led Zeppelin, and now I'm back to The Corporation. Books that I've already read, and just to remind me of what I read, and it's been great. That's helped me a lot also, just reading. Comedy writing is fucking dead in my world, Dean. I try to write a joke, you know, it was funny because the other night I was by myself in the back room and I had Pink Floyd. I just put on Pink Floyd, the Wish You Were Here album, and I was playing Wish You Were Here. I was playing it on the electric guitar, and it sounded more like Wish You Weren't Here. Like I was laughing by myself. I'm like, that's the type of jokes I'm writing. Like jokes that goof on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ, if anybody heard this, they wish they wouldn't be here. So it's like little things like that, like little jokes like that, yeah. But like a bit like Bill Burr does, I can't do that shit anymore. Like I can't even, I look at bits and I'm like, I'm happy I get on stage once a week. I'm happy I do it to give the girls a breather and to get me out, you know, because I don't want to be at a restaurant or at a bar hanging out, you know.
Yeah.
So I haven't even been to my hometown in maybe since the new year. We're March 8th. I haven't been to North Bergen since Valentine's Day. And before that, it was like 2 weeks before the surgery.
Wow.
That's a 55-minute drive for me. I don't even do that. So if I'm not even going to see my friends up there, it's like I'm down here. I'm surrounded by trees and deer. I got everything I need down here. Fucking great pizza. I got a sound stage. If I got to tape the commercials for Rogan or for Spotify, I could walk to that fucking studio.
That's great.
So I've just the last 6 months is just getting adjusted. I can't believe it's been 6 months since I last saw you.
I can't believe it. I remember you pulled up. You said, "Hey, you home?" I said, "Yeah, I'm home." And you pulled up and you got out of the car. And I was like, "Uh-oh, this guy's got cancer or something." Like, you never do that, you know? Like, I need to talk to you. Hey, came over, you go, "I'm done. I'm moving to Jersey." And I was like, whoa, I couldn't believe it. You know, I was like, oh, I knew it was something real because you don't go, "Hey, you home? I'm coming over right now." You know?
Yeah, you were like one of the first persons I really told, you know, I always knew I was leaving. When I came home to shoot The Sopranos was when I really realized I belonged back here. It was just going to be a matter of time, you know?
Right.
I wish I could tell you the pandemic made me move. I was going to move anyway. The pandemic just pushed us, you know, pushed a little quicker. You know?
I think the pandemic has done some good stuff also.
Yes.
It makes us all realize, oh, wait a minute. There's more to life than just fucking doing one thing, you know? We're only here once, and if we would have died from the pandemic, it would have been like, well, man, I never, you know, like you, I didn't learn guitar or something. And I would have been okay if I died from the pandemic because I started comedy and I was like, well, I started something new and I wasn't just working a dead end goddamn job. You know what I mean? So I've been like, I'm fine. Like when I got ran over on the motorcycle, no regrets. So I think a lot of people wake up like that, you know, like, oh shit. Right? I want to do something.
Do you remember I told you, I'm like, Dean, I can't believe you ride a motorcycle. You're going to get hit one day. And like a week later, you got fucking clocked. I was like, I felt so bad. I feel so fucking bad. Because in LA, listen, I was nervous to ride a bicycle in LA.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to assume they're that fucking stupid. You know,
Yeah.
with the bike lane, I would go for my bike rides at 7:30 in the morning during the pandemic when there was nobody. And I almost got hit by a car 10 fucking times.
Yeah.
Just going like 30 yards. There was a 30-yard stretch that I had to pedal on the street. And I would always get hit all the fucking times because that's where the 170, people got off the 170 there.
Oh.
By
yeah.
Riverside. So it was like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to get killed on this fucking thing. And I warned 2 people about bicycles, and both of them got into an accident. Like fucking 2 weeks later. There was a Cuban girl at the Y that was from Miami, and me and my wife, before Mercy was ever born, we used to go on date nights. When I first moved to North Hollywood, we had that NoHo diner, which is fucking garbage. But at the time, that's the best you got to eat. So we would go to the Y, do yoga from 5:30 to 6:30, run to that fucking place, the NoHo diner, we'd eat, and then we'd shoot up to the house and watch Sons of Anarchy. And one day I saw her getting on a bike with her helmet on a Tuesday night at 6:30. I go, you ride a bike to Sherman Oaks? And she's like, yeah, it's just like 3 miles. I'll be home in 15 minutes. I go, that's not the point. You're riding your bike outside in the dark. I'm scared to ride my bike in the daytime. This was way before I had my bike. Like I said, this is before Mercy was born.
Right.
About 2 weeks later, I see the girl in yoga, and she's got a cast on, and she goes like, hey, just came by to tell you you're a psychic. I was riding my bike, and a guy opened this door and didn't see me. She had to get her front teeth replaced.
Oh.
Fucking plastic surgery above her eye. She flew off the fucking over the handlebars and shit. You know, it's crazy riding your bike in LA. That's just a fucking nightmarish.
I was fucking 35 years on that bike, and I was just I was addicted to it, man. It's a rush, man, of just splitting those
It is a
lanes and
rush.
getting into the next spot, like, holy shit, okay, I'm going to do the store. Now I'm going to boogie up to Bray Improv, and then I'm going to boogie over to the Irvine Improv, man. I'm doing 3 spots. Just, no. That was funny. I did San Diego last week. I headlined out there. It was great. 4 shows sold out, man. And all I thought about was I was driving home Saturday night after the late show, and I was like, I used to ride a motorcycle back from La Jolla Comedy Store in the cold and fog and dark all the way back after the spots at the store. Crazy.
And no matter how, when it's 60 degrees on a bike, you're fucking cold.
Freezing.
Even when it's 50 degrees, you're fucking cold. You got all the hoods on and the fucking, I remember as a kid riding a motorcycle in Jersey, and I don't care if it's 60 degrees out and warm. When you're riding at night and the sun goes down, it's fucking cold out there in those fucking swamps. It's a lot colder than what people fucking think. So I'm happy you got rid of that motorcycle. When you told me you got rid of it, I was like, thank fucking God he got rid of that goddamn thing, because
it's so good now. I'm just in the Toyota 4Runner, right? I got the heat on. I got the XM radio on, and I'm just like listening to killer music. I'm like, this is the way, man. Just chilling.
Speaking about music, man, I saw you tweeted on Saturday. The Rhino Records released Black Sabbath Mob Rules and Black Sabbath Heaven and Hell. They sent me both copies. I want to give a shout out because it's Rhino Records Metal Madness Month or whatever over at Rhino Records. I made a video for them last week thanking them for all the albums they sent me. They sent me like the Volume 4, and they sent me Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules. And I got to tell you something, man. When you look at hindsight, 2020, they say hindsight, whatever the fuck. It's so weird because you came on the podcast maybe 5 years ago and you turned me on to Humanizer I, which is when Dio came back and did the album with Sabbath. And I went home and I listened to it and I thought it was brilliant. Mob Rules came out as I was going into my heavy criminal period. That's when the Mob Rules came out. So I really wasn't into that Mob Rules too much. Heaven and Hell was a life changer for me. You retweeted them last Saturday, because they're releasing them this week.
Right.
When I got the copies, I gave my Mob Rules to Jimmy Florentine because I already had a copy of Mob Rules. But it made me listen to Heaven and Hell again, and it made me listen to Mob Rules again. And when I heard that Sign of the Southern Cross, whatever the name of it, off Mob Rules, I'm like,
yeah,
fucking Dean Delray reminded me of, I thought about you. I was like, and that's why I'm booking the podcast from now on. When I think of people, for some reason, I'm just going to call them up and go, I want you on the podcast, man, because last week I was watching The Sopranos, and I'm like, enough is enough. I got to get David Chase to do a Zoom with me,
Oh, did he do it?
No, we're going to do it before the movie comes out. Hopefully I could take him down to Austin and do the Rogan experience, and then he could do a 30-minute Zoom with me for the joint, But it's like, when I think of people now, I want to, I'll call you 11 o'clock at night, which is 8 o'clock your time.
Of course.
My wife goes to bed at fucking 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and I'm left with my dick in my hand. So I got two options. I could fucking watch TV, or I could listen to music, and now I could play the guitar.
Yeah.
Or write, and I've even started reading at night before I go to bed. I just turned the TV off. But the one night I called you because I listened to the Mob Rules and I was like, man, did I waste my time with drugs. This was such a great album. I just, by the time Mob Rules came out,
82.
for those about to rock,
Yep.
there was a couple of albums that, the one with Leonard, with Ted Nugent, when he did Duango Tango.
Oh, yeah.
All those albums were my goodbye to music. I wasn't into music. That was my end of going to concerts. It was nothing but guns and fucking cocaine after that. There was no period for music. When I moved to Colorado in 83, I got into music, but I got into music that I hadn't gotten into before. I started listening to the Eagles and the Grateful Dead and, the Nitty Ditty Dirt Band and shit like that. Things that I hadn't listened to before. But I was so stuck on Sabbath, I had put so much time into Sabbath that I was like, I got to move on. I got to figure something out. But by you turning me on to Dio and me going home at night and smoking dope and doing edibles and listening to Dio, you kind of brought me back in a way. And I didn't see that then. But now that I opened up Heaven and Hell and I turned it back on, by you turning me on to this is really weird because our lives are narrated by music. When we hear a certain song, it takes us back to a certain time period in our lives. That's what's great about Sirius. That they got the 70s on 70, they got the 80s, they got the 90s, they got the 50s, they got the 60s. You could listen to all this music, and when I'm driving, I'll just keep switching Sirius until I find the song I like, and I'll run with the genre or whatever it is. But it's so weird how Heaven and Hell brought me back. By you opening me up to that, it brought me back to thinking about New Jersey, thinking about concerts again, thinking about my friends. I hadn't had those thoughts because comedy had consumed my life. And now I look at how comedy consumed my life so much. All right, I'm a fat fuck by nature, but not really. If you look at the pictures of me as a child, I was always a bony fuck. But comedy took me so deep that I even stopped caring about my Like, I took showers, but I stopped caring about my health. Like, that's how much I was into comedy. When you're doing comedy the way you're supposed to do it, you're not supposed to be healthy, if you really think about it. You're out all night, you're drinking, you know, some of us do drugs, some of us don't, you know.
You're eating shitty.
Eating shitty in the bars, you know. It's just the first 10 years of comedy is like this fucking diving into the abyss, you know, for some of us.
Oh.
You got a guy like Rogan that always kept his health up, you know. Bill Burr had to stop drinking over the years. You know, we all learn while you're doing comedy what doesn't work, because you learn more about yourself. You're you're opening up one of those fucking artichokes, you know. So you see what I was telling somebody the other day that there's no more fiends in comedy.
No.
When I got into comedy, people weren't showing up at gigs. People were getting high. People were doing blow. There's nobody doing coke in comedy no more. There's no drugs in comedy. There's no Sam Kinnisons anymore, nothing like that.
No, it's business, man. And you know, you can't be all fucked up on that patio at the store, because there's going to be like 3 agents, a casting agent, a guy that's got a movie for you. And if if they come up and talk to you and you're all like, they'll be like, oh, whoa, okay, yeah, we'll give you a ring, you know.
And I know you're saying that to me, and I know I lost 1,000 jobs and 1,000 relationships because I would never get coked up at the store like before the show. But after I went on stage, it was every man for himself. It's an open fucking bar. Yeah, I don't have to, you know. You've seen it. You. I don't know if you lived it also. You saw what it was like up there, you know, that it's very easy to go up there and get messed up with drugs and drinking, you know. I got caught up with comedy so much that I didn't turn my back on music. it had felt like been there, done that. But it was music that brought me back. By listening to that music, that Dio stuff and all that, and let me tell you something, I wanted Heaven and Hell to fail so bad. You know, I mean, you know, I wanted Heaven and Hell I wanted to hate Heaven and Hell so much, but I ended up falling in love with the album at that age. Like, and now I look back at the courage that it took. I remember I had Ronnie James Dio's wife on, and I told her the truth. Wendy. I told her the truth. I go, everybody around me wanted that album to fail. You know, you were dissing Ozzy. But as a music enthusiast, that showed you how to be a real man in a way, how to go, wow, even though I wanted this to fail, this is a great fucking album, and I'm going to pay attention to it, you know?
It's interesting when you listen to them, it's Black Sabbath, it's Bill Ward on Heaven and Hell, and it's Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler. It's the same 3 guys, but when Dio was in the band, they seem to play more violent. Tony Iommi plays way, way more violent lead guitar. His tone is different, and their tempos are different and everything. It's just more of this punch in the face. Like when you open up with Neon Nights, you're like, whoa, this is violent music as far as the performance compared to, say, some of the classic Sabbath, which is kind of a little sleepy and drony, you know, down, that kind of stuff.
Master Reality-ish. Yeah. If you compare like Master Reality-ish, which is a great album, to an album like Neon, you know, Children of the Sea. Oh. Let's take that song, for example. That's a very classic Sabbath song. Like it's unclassically classic Sabbath, and there's a certain beauty to it. It's a great little ballad, you know. I love Changes. I love I'm Going Through Changes. Great ballad. You know, Ozzy did some great ballads with Black Sabbath, but I think Children of the Sea, Dio fucks it up, if you want to call it a ballad. To me, it's a ballad. To some people might be listening to this, they might go, Joe, we don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's not a ballad. It's a ballad to me.
It's a haunting ballad.
It's a haunting fucking ballad. When I put that album back on, it took me right back there this week. And it just let me know that it was you that brought music back into my life, and I wanted to thank you. Like, you really opened my eyes to. I remember having Bird on, like in 2015, and him and I did a podcast about Guns N' Roses. I had gotten so many emails from 20-year-olds that said they had never even heard of Guns N' Roses. It fucking infuriated me.
Yeah.
It infuriated me that we all that kids knew were, Welcome to the Jungle. They didn't get to see the videos for November Rain and all, which are fucking masterpiece videos.
Totally.
Not only were they a masterpiece record, Guns N' Roses learned to master the video. Sweet Child of Mine is a great fucking video. They really, it's weird to know that our friend Gene Kirkland was on that video shoot as a young photographer, their videos, and it blew me away. Like that podcast with Bert and the response I got, it wasn't like, thank you for being funny. No. Thank you for opening our eyes to this fucking, and all of a sudden, like 3 years later, I'm not saying because of me, I'm just saying, like 3 years later, they were the first band to break 1 billion views.
Crazy.
I think it's November Rain did break 1 billion views like 3 or 4 years later after our podcast. Again, I'm not saying this because we did the podcast, but it even made me go home and listen to Guns N' Roses. It made me go home, on Patreon. I just recently started playing the Pretenders. How the fuck do you peg me as a Pretenders fan? So music brought me back to being Coco Diaz, not a comic, just a human being again. Like it brought me back to fucking Coco Diaz again.
When I stopped playing music, it made me start to love it again. So when you're so deep into music, you're just kind of blinders on and you're just recording and making music. And then when I got out of it, and that's why I started at the Comedy Store, because it was, the building's painted black. It's on Sunset Strip. It's 100% rock and roll, that place. It goes way back with Kinnison and Dice and all the rock in there and all the rockers hanging out there. And I was like, I'm going to start here. And then they'd play rock on the patio. And I was just like, man, I love music again, like more than ever, because I was out of it and I could just enjoy it without feeling a slight competitive thing when you're playing music, like, they put out a fucking good record. God damn it. I got to get better. That whole thing. It was wild. Now I could just listen to it as a full fan.
It's funny because I always admired the DJ. When I was a kid, I always thought about DJing, like not in a disco, scratching and shit. I love the idea of turning people on to music they hadn't heard before with a story, I'm not in love with stand-up anymore right now. For some reason, I'm just at a blah state with stand-up right now. But this pandemic has made me fall in love with music. I'm happy Mike got me the guitar as a gift because now it's an extension. But it also, I don't know how to describe it, like it just removed a lot of cobwebs from me, music, during this time. This settled me a little more. Like I put on an album that I haven't listened to in 40 years. I put on to The Good Rats. Now I forget the name of the album, and I was like, wow, I can't believe Birth Comes to Us All by The Good Rats. The Good Rats were a band out of Long Island when I was a kid. And they had a couple good songs. I think they opened up for somebody at the Garden. They made good. They didn't hit the mecca of it. But I've even done things like that. I've listened to the Kinks, Celluloid Heroes, fucking the one with Lola meets Superman. All these albums. I've been listening to all these older type albums to let me know who the fuck I was growing up. And it's done a fucking great job. Without a psychiatrist, I didn't have to go online and talk to a psychiatrist or seek a religion or whatever. I mean, my relationships have gotten stronger with my wife and my child during this. pandemic, but what I enjoy the most right now, more than stand-up, is doing the album of the week, because that means that I come down here after dinner, like Wednesday, and I fucking smoke a bone, and I go in that room, I lock the door, I put my feet up on the couch, and I get to listen to an album like when I was like 15, without a worry in the world. You know, like when you're 25 and you listen to an album, it sounds different than it did when you were 15, because now you got a life. You're in college, you just graduated college, you're at a law firm, you're this, you're that. So you forget all this shit, you know, you forget it. I didn't. This is what brought me back, was listening to that old music again. I feel 100% better than I did in Los Angeles. I'm off the Ferris wheel, like I'm off the fucking ride. I could do comedy on my terms, you know. If that, I don't know if that, but this has made me fall in love. That preparing for album of the week is my favorite fucking thing that I do now.
Yeah,
because I could do an album of the day if I wanted to.
Yeah,
I would do an album of the day and sit there with them, and it could be 8 hours. Like, it could be joint after joint. Like, if I had a job where you go, listen, we want you to present a fucking album every day, just smoke weed, you got 4 hours to kill, I could fill that. Because I could break down every song, we could go over the lyrics, we could see where they recorded the album at. You know, I love all that shit.
I love that shit too. I wanted to be on Sirius XM and just do that shit, you know, like present new music. Like, here's Marcus King, man, and this is why I like him, and this is where I saw him, and this is where his sound comes from, and that break down that kind of stuff. Rival Sons, new bands that I'm constantly finding. So people that say there's no good music anymore, I could just be like, you're wrong. Listen to my show every day at 2:00. I'm going to give you 3 bands, you know?
Yeah, no, I like it from that perspective, but since I'm not on top of the new bands,
yeah,
this, you know, listen, right now the people watching and listening to this podcast, I got to say that maybe 10% of 50-year-olds, we got maybe 30% of 40 to 50s, we got like another 20% in their 30s, but everybody else is in their 20s and late teens. And maybe their father didn't listen to Sabbath or the Stones or Leonard Skinner, or, you know, I just listened to Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush live.
So great.
2 weeks ago.
I love that live
from
record.
1978. That, you know, just the thought of listening to that album, I almost called you at 1 a.m. and said, you know, what happened with Frank Marino? That was like, that could have happened. That happens with comics. There's some great, you know, the kid who passed away a couple weeks ago, Eric, God rest his soul. He was a great comic, that kid. You know, he just had other demons that were haunting him. The reason why people didn't hear about him before that was because he fell through the cracks. And that happens with a lot of bands today. Like, you like, fuck, that was a great band, but they didn't. Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
Tesla's got 20 fucking great songs.
Yeah.
But they didn't get to the heights of Judas Priest or Iron Maiden or, you know, Sabbath. But Tesla's a good, Tesla's a good band. Y&T. There's a lot of great YT. There's a lot of great bands that just fell through the holes. You don't, with comics that happens also. They were great. I'm finally fucking excited that Holtzman came out of his coma after 20 years. That the world could see who the fuck Brian Holtzman is. He finally moved to Austin. He's down there with Brian and Tony Hinchcliffe, and he's being a comic. That guy is one of the funniest guys walking today. But the world never got to see him because Holtzman always needed a fucking job. Funniest guy walking, off the cuff. Funniest fucking guy off the cuff. He's a killer. So, you know, like, I'm excited. Like, last week I was like, what the fuck? Brian Holtzman was at the store for 22 years. He didn't want to do comedy. Now he wants to do comedy. This is what the pandemic did to people. And for a guy like me who couldn't even think about not doing, like, if you know that Monday night that I wouldn't go to the store when they would have like Kill Tony
Yeah, Papa.
I'd be doing a podcast. And I'll tell you what, between me and you as men, I was embarrassed I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like, the way I live my life, you're supposed to do stand-up every fucking night. The only reason why I gave myself a pass on those nights, on Mondays and Wednesdays, was because I was doing a podcast. It's a form of entertainment. But if I wasn't doing a podcast, I'd still have to be out. I would beat myself up to be out. That's who I am. And when you're a comic, that's what you need to be. That's what. And now I look at myself. I look outside that back patio some nights, and I go out there and I smoke a number in the cold, and I smoke a half a number, to be honest with you. I put it away for the next day. I don't even smoke the whole fucking number. But that just goes to show you that how people have changed during this pandemic. Like Holtzman went from wanting a day job. He saw himself on that documentary on the Comedy Store, and he goes, fuck this. I'm going to go do fucking comedy full fucking time. I'm wasting my fucking life being a fucking dog catcher, whatever the fuck he's doing. So I hope now people get to fucking witness the brilliance that's Brian Holtzman.
Yeah,
you know?
he's great, man. I had him on the podcast a few months ago, and I mean, I remember when I started, I'd have to kind of follow him, and man, it was the greatest lesson ever, because it was just like it was almost impossible. If you could just get one laugh, you're like, all right, I got out of there as a tie, because he would just disintegrate the room.
He would disintegrate the room.
Yeah, and it taught me to learn how to follow people like him or Rick Ingram or Brody that are completely outside the box, different, rhythms and cadence and volumes and, loud or whatever, organic, just winging it. All that kind of stuff of like, oh, I got to be more in the moment and free and fuck it, man. Address it if you're bombing up there after Holtzman. You're like, yeah, you come up here and try to go on after Holtzman, that kind of shit. And it started to work, and I figured it out. I was like, all right, I got this, but it took a long time.
What killed me the most about Holtzman was watching him I wouldn't watch Holtzman. I'd watch the audience reaction. I would just sit in the back. I wouldn't sit in Mitzi's chair. I'd sit in that other chair across from the bathroom. Right. Yep. If you come out of the bathroom, there's a chair right there. Yeah,
that's a good one. I like that
because
one.
At midnight, there would be nobody in that fucking, when Holtzman would go up. It would be like me, Holtzman, and somebody else. So we wouldn't even have a fucking, there would be 8 people in there, 10 people, 12 people. So I would go watch their faces. After Holtzman, it would always turn down to 4. Like he would always walk 4 people. Like I would go, Holtzman, please fucking don't walk those 4, because the Comedy Store in those days needed 4 people to do a show. Yeah. And there were many a nights that's all we had in that motherfucker was 4 fucking people. So, it would get to like 22. Paul Mooney would go up. He would get off. It would get to like 12. So now I had fucking 8 people left that I had to pray for, that fucking Holtzman wasn't going to walk. And he used to have a bit that he had a kid that was gay, and he would take his son to the baseball games to blow off. He would take him to trucker stops to blow truckers and shit because his son was gay. And when he was a baby, he would take him to baseball games and just take his dick out and feed him at baseball games and shit. And I would watch people's faces, and they would lose it. That was an education. That was an education itself. So I'd be sitting there, I'm cheering for the motherfucker to do well, but at the other hand, I'm cheering for fucking these 8 people to stay, because without them, I'm not going to get my $15. And in those days, I needed those fucking $15 badly.
Hell yeah.
So I would watch Holtzman and go, please do have a great show. I want to laugh, but don't do that fucking, you take your kid to the baseball games and he suck your dick when he's hungry bit, because people get fucking, people just get fucking annoyed and they walk out. I saw people storm out of there that were gay, when he would say that joke. But, I mean, that's the way it was. You had to go up there, follow Holtzman to 6 people.
Yeah.
There'd be 6 fucking people in the fucking audience. And I'd go, Jesus Christ. So Now I'm doing shows for, I think they raised it to 35% New Jersey. So I think I got like 40-something people in there every
Killer.
Wednesday. They'll probably raise it up towards the end of the month. I think by June. I was looking at the schedule for the concerts around here. They're fucking straight. They're full boat, Jack. Steely Dan, the 3rd of July over at PNC, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what the seating arrangements are, but they're going for it. So
I'm off to
looks
Des
like-
Moines, Iowa next weekend.
Really?
Or this weekend, yeah. My first road dates in 1 year. My first plane ride, everything. I'm going to Teehees in Des Moines, and I'm going to go do 3 shows. 1 Friday, 2 Saturday, and I'm ready, man. I feel I'm writing some of the best material in my 11-year career, 10 and a half years now, and I feel I know from the pandemic, I love this more than anything. And comedy saved me, actually, because if I was just selling motorcycles during the pandemic, I'd been done. I would have been done. I would have no money. I would have really no friends, a couple friends that, have kids and I'd see from work, but I'd be done. So comedy, when I look at it, and also getting that diabetes when I did and beating it, prepared me not to die for the fucking pandemic. Cause I got COVID back in March. I would have been fucking dead with diabetes. So everything's kind of, it's like, I really believe this, Joey. I've said this many times. I feel like your life map is laid out for you when you're born. I kind of feel like that because here I am like, man, somebody's looking out for me. Cause I was doing comedy, and thank God I was in the Patreon and the podcast. I've been doing the podcast 10 years. So without that, I would be dust, It's just crazy to think about.
I'm very happy that I always wanted to tell you that I always felt bad leaving you there. Like I felt really bad, he's become like my brother over the years. I was happy to see Lee leave and Steve Simone leave. I didn't want to feel like a quitter. At first, that's what I felt like. I'm a quitter for leaving. But I wasn't leaving because of me. I was leaving for my daughter,
I get it.
Right now, my daughter is at a play date. Or she's in school, but, on fucking Saturdays and Sundays now, there's no more daughter in the house. Those days are done. Like, her and my wife have fucking lives here.
Yeah.
Tripoli performed on Friday and Saturday at the Comedy Dojo. I was going to go Thursday night with Jimmy, but his son had a game on Thursday night. And then Friday night, my wife went out. My wife has friends here. I mean, she goes out once a week. And then Saturday night, I had, shit to do. We went to a friend's house, and then by the time I got back, it was too late to drive to Tripoli's, and we have that thing on Saturday nights as a family. We watch The Honeymooners at 9:30. I got to watch it All in the Family at 9. 9:30, The Honeymooners, and then they go to sleep, and me and my wife watch The Honeymooners at 11. So it's like, man, Doug Stanhope said it best last week that is the first time since he was 17 that he slept in his bed for a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like everybody else. I got to be honest with you. When the pandemic first hit, I was concerned and worried. But then as it went on, I got happy because I needed the break. My spirit, my soul, I had been going fucking straight since 1979, man.
Yeah.
I've been going straight.
Yeah.
I have been out every night since 1979. When my mother died and I lived with a family, it was hard to stay in a house at night with a family that wasn't yours, Even though I loved them and I cared for them and they cared for me, just the thought of being in a room was like being in prison at the age of 16. Yeah. So I've been out every night since 1979.
Same,
You know
man.
what?
Same.
It's been a great fucking year. I had my ups and downs since the pandemic started. You know, when the pandemic started, I got caught up with the fucking pills, and you know, my anxiety went off fucking kilter. And then little by little, you know, I went through all these things. I remember eating. I told my wife that up until I think September 1st, I had to fucking knock myself out every night to sleep. And when I mean knock myself out, I mean that I had built a tolerance that only heroin could probably conquer.
I get that.
I was eating 5 of those capsules, and one of them will kill you. One of those fucking hash tabs will kill you, 100 milligrams. I was eating 5 or 600, 200 milligrams, you know,
Are
just
those
to pass
Apexes?
out. Yeah, I was fucking killing my abrazepam, whatever that fucking shit is. Those footballs, I was eating 4 or 5 of those things a night. I had a collection of them. My doctor kept prescribing them to me since like 2008, and I never took them.
Yeah.
I just put all the jars together. I had like 20 jars of these pills. So every time Express Script would send them, I would have a jar of those fucking footballs. And I just, bro, my whole life was turning on World News Tonight and playing fucking, you know, Stop the Anxiety. So once, I think I got settled September 1st, once I moved, I went to a party, and I seen all these people without masks, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to fucking die, but I can't keep living how I'm living. And here we are today. I'm a lot better. What do you feel now? Since it's been, what, 2 months since, or you had COVID this February or last year?
No, I had it last March at the beginning, early COVID.
Okay, and how do you feel now? Any after effects or anything?
I feel great. It was for like 3 months. I was just completely like sluggish. If I was working out, I was kind of burnt, and it would come and go, just kind of this weird phlegmy shit in my throat. I never had the cough, but I had the fever that you would want to shoot yourself with a bullet. 4 days of this gnarly fever. And then it was weird. It took about 3 months for me to kind of get back to like, oh, I'm finally normal again. I was just burnt all the time. So it could have been also anxiety and stress and depression with a combo of detoxing from the COVID. And I also had a weird thing that nobody seems to know what it was, but my nose kind of blew up like a Bukowski day drinking nose and just ooze out like an oil all day. Like my nose was just greasy with big old pores. I don't know what the fuck. That had to be some side effect that nobody's got. But dude, I remember I was doing an Instagram live and someone said, man, you need sunblock. Your nose is fucked up. And it was fucked up, my nose. I thought it was going to be like that for life. I was like, my nose is ruined. It was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the last week, I took 2 COVID tests. I got a guy now that just lets me come in for a flat price. We've become friends because anytime I always try to take a test on Thursday. You know, I got Mike. I don't want to give it to Mike, and then he has kids and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, I go over to Florentines and stuff, but besides that, I really don't do much. I go to the gym, and nobody there has it. They leave both doors open. You know, when I go do comedy on Wednesdays at Uncle Vinny's, I'm not scared at all. I don't feel it's 40 people, you know, so I'm all right now. I just, my life changed a lot. That's all that happened. You know, my wants and desires have changed a little bit. And you know what? I'll take the summer off, and I'll see where my head is at when the Soprano movie comes out, when The Many Saints comes out.
Yeah.
If I get a slight bug up my ass, I'll do a little fucking touring then. But for right now, I'm just going to sit tight and keep listening to records and learn to play the fucking guitar. That's it, and that's all.
My phone does the best thing on the planet. I think the iPhone is the photo memories. So weekly it'll pop up this photo memory, and a lot of them are with you. and I sit down for a minute, like I sent you that Vegas photo from last week, and I just
February
thought about
28th. That was our last
yeah,
road date. That was it.
yeah,
That was my last road date. Then March
and
2nd was when I
yeah.
went to March 3rd was my last date at the store.
Yeah, and March 10th was the Bon Scott tribute, and 12th was my last date at the store. But these photos come up of you and I all over, man. Over the years, dude. Over the years, we have gone and melted some faces, man. Melted some faces and made people happy. And that is better than anything on the planet. When you just hear people go, I saw you and Joey at Punchline, and Joey's flight was canceled because of the fog, and you headlined the one night. And then I was like, who's this guy? And you killed. And I went back the next night, and you and Joey, like all these stories I get all the time from people. And it's great, man. And that Vegas show we were both fucking powering, man, because we had been just doing comedy 24/7, man.
Listen, man, you were one of the things that were keeping me alive towards the end, because I was very devastated with people and young comics and how they were acting, and everybody was looking for something. You weren't looking for anything. You were doing the work. So it kept me alive. I admired that. I admired, you and Steve Simone, and there was a couple of you guys, Carmen Morales, that you didn't think I was watching, Jesus Trail, but I was watching. You may not think I'm watching, but I'm watching. That's why I love when people reach out and say, hey, I'm doing this, this, and this. If you were doing that, and that, I'd be fucking hearing about you.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about you, but I was hearing little murmurs about Dean Delray, and I was hearing little murmurs about Kate Quigley, and I was hearing little murmurs about Jesus Trejo, and, these comics that weren't scared to put their fucking, they didn't care about being a doorman. You just saw them that they loved comedy so much that I had to fucking do something for them. And then you had these other handful of people that just wanted to be stars and didn't want to do the work. They just thought, oh, Joey will put me on his podcast and take me on the road and I'll be a fucking star. Really? It doesn't happen that quickly. You got to earn your fucking stripes, bitch. So as far as I was concerned, all these people were upsetting my internal fucking organs with their fucking gimme, gimme, gimme. But I'm looking at guys like you and Steve Simone and Kate Quigley and, Jesus Trail. It was just like a special 8 of yous. And you guys would inspire the fuck out of me. Because I would look at you and go, that's the behavior. Wow, I'm proud that these guys are acting this way. Because that's what you want. But then you had these other handful of fucking clowns that thought that, doing comedy twice a week earned them a right to come on the podcast, or fucking me taking them on the road, or, I get these fucking emails from people. I hate you. You ruined my life by not putting me on my podcast. How the fuck is my podcast going to make you a fucking star? Do you see me on ABC?
Yeah.
Do you see me hanging out with Denzel fucking Washington, you dumb fuck? Do you see me hanging out with fucking, I'm not a fucking star. I'm just a fat fucking felon working, doing what you should be. This is what you should be doing, is working. But then on the other hand, I had guys like you that were doing the work. You got to remember, I know you. I saw you as a chubby guy at the Ha Ha.
Yeah.
When I first moved to North Hollywood.
Yep.
And then you just reinvented yourself. You made decisions for yourself. I'm not going there no more. I'm going to go to the store. These are my friends. I saw what you were doing, and it impressed the fuck out of me in a society that everybody was just gimme, 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 gimme. I want to be on a podcast. I want a shout out. I want you to take me on the road. I was getting tapes from people sent to me on YouTube, email, fucking emails from people that I didn't know, a messenger. I want you to take me on the road. You're coming to Cleveland. Can I open for you? Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
I don't know you, but I know that Dean Delray did 3 fucking spots last night, and he rode a bicycle to his last one. He went home, put away his car, and drove a bike up to the fucking last one. I know that fucking Kate Quigley's taking bikini pictures and showing her tits, but I also know that she's fucking out there every night. I'm looking at, all these guys that were doing fucking great work. Crystal Johnson, just all these comics. Look at fucking, and I never got her on the podcast because she always worked. Punky. Now she's on Saturday Night fucking Live,
Yeah.
I was watching all these people busting their hump at the Comedy Store, all these young kids, and I'm watching, and these fucking other people in every other state sending me, "Oh, can I come on your podcast?" They thought that by just going on a podcast it was going to change their life, and they had no idea of what goes into this fucking career. They have no idea what goes into this life. If you want to be a plumber or an electrician, a writer, fucking, I'm learning now how to be a writer after all these fucking years. 30 years in the business. And I'm learning now how to write fucking sentences and paragraphs and whatever. It took that fucking long. I'm not a writer. I'm a comedian. I'm supposed to make you laugh.
Yep.
But that's why I got so close with you, because you inspired the fuck out of me. Everybody else is bringing me the fuck down. Everybody else is a fucking downer. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wanted to die. And here I see you digging fucking holes every week like me. We were out there every fucking night. So you always have a special place in my heart. Fuck the iPhone with the fucking memories. Those memories are in my heart and in my soul, man.
Same here.
And I'm happy you turned me back on to Dio Sabbath. And I'm happy that Rhino Records is having heavy metal month, whatever the fuck they're doing over there. So if you're looking for some reissues and you're looking for the new Heaven and Hell, it comes with great stuff. The Mob Rules comes with great stuff.
Bonus
the Volume
shit.
4 comes with great stuff. They're doing a great job with those Sabbath albums. So I'm impressed as fuck. So as long as you're doing well and you promise me I'll see you within the next year, we're good, brother.
I'm going to see you before you know it, man. I'm going to be in Jersey. And I'm going to come see you, and we're going to go eat some shitty food together that's not good for us.
Well, there's some fucking great food in this fucking neighborhood.
I'm ready.
I got a Chinese place 2 minutes from my fucking door.
Oh.
That they are. I hate string beans, right?
Oh, yeah.
I hate fucking string beans. They make a spicy garlic beef with string beans.
Oh.
I'm eating the fucking string beans. That's why I look better, because I'm finally eating my string beans. So put that in your fucking pipe and smoke it, cocksuckers. Dean Delray, thank you for coming on a Monday morning, buddy.
Candles lit, buddy. And
always.
Tell everybody to check out my new podcast, The Grail. It's out every Thursday. I got a second podcast now, The Grail, where I interview all these people. Yeah, make cool shit like stereos and guitars and amps and, architectures and everything, cars. It's all kinds of cool people, man, and they're out there doing it big time.
You still got your Patreon?
Oh yeah, Patreon.
Okay.
And I
don't forget
Patreon.com/Dean Delray, and I do a Zoom fest every weekend with all the people that sign up. So I do a Zoom hangout with all the Patreoners.
You're fucking beautiful, and you still got CBD Lion.
CBD Lion for life, man. Those guys saved my life, man, and I owe you the world for that. And CBDLion.com. Use the code DEAN.
Use code Joey or Church, cocksuckers. We got CBD Lion today, so it's great. I love you, buddy. Thank you very, very much for coming on. And I don't have to tell you to stay in touch. We talk every other day anyway. So thank you for coming on a Monday morning. The Uncle Joey's Joint, cocksucker. Stay black.
I love all your fans, man. They're family, the church people, and now the Joey's Joint. Just fabulous people, man. Fabulous.
I love you guys. I love you, Dean. Stay black, all right, buddy?
All right. Have a good weekend.
You got it.
See ya, buddy.
Bye. What'd you think? Dean with a fucking, like I told you, two fucking mohawks on a Monday in a week. For 10 years I did interviews. I didn't interview nobody with a mohawk. Then 2 Mondays in a row. I got Doug Stanhope last Monday, and now this Monday, Dean. It was great to talk to you, Dean. It was great to talk to him. I mean, like you guys heard, we had become close, a lot closer than what you guys thought. As soon as I played that album last week, I immediately thought of him. I called Dean almost every night, late night. I check in with him. But last week it hit me a little harder because he was the one that introduced me to Dio again with Humanizer. Like, he reminded me the strength of Dio. So I hope you guys enjoyed our little Monday morning fucking chat. And that's it, and that's that, man. It's business as usual. I'll be at Vinny's on Wednesday. I think the last 2 dates, there's still some tickets left if you want to check in if you're in the Jersey area. My Patreon's still alive and kicking. The album of the week was great. I got a little heat because last week my friends go out to California. He goes out for business. He works for a record label, and he goes out every 2 or 3 weeks, and he stops by Urban Trees, and he brought me back a fucking surprise. It's this, what's in the capsules, the ABX capsules, only it comes in a fucking syringe. I wish I would have showed it to you. So I did a video on the Patreon last week. It comes with a needle and everything. So I made a video of me like fucking shooting heroin. I opened up the video by saying that I'm a heroin junkie. I didn't want nobody to know, and so many people hit me up and go, that fucking video was classic. I thought you were really on heroin. People were fucking dying. So Patreon's still alive and kicking. $3, $5, and $10, whatever you want. Go over there and see. And we're here for free every Monday and Wednesday. So I love you guys. Thank you very much for watching and enjoying Dean Delray and me. Have a great week. And now for a word from our sponsors. All right. I want to thank you motherfuckers for enjoying Dean Delray. I want to thank Dean Delray for coming on Zoom. It was great. It was beautiful. It was great to see him with his fucking mohawk. 2 Mondays in a row, I got a guy with a fucking mohawk. What are the fucking chances? I love you motherfuckers. But before I go, the joint is brought to you by Blue Chew. Like I told you motherfuckers, little bird of happiness, the blue bird of happiness came to me this morning when I woke up and whispered in my ears, tell your people for harder and stronger fucking erections, get Blue Chew. Listen, combat all forms of VD. Get your dick in tip-top magoo. Even if you don't have a form of VD, you always want to be prepared. You want to give them dick that they'll remember you by. Yeah, Mike came over and gave me some dick. That'll never happen again. I couldn't walk for fucking 3 days. I couldn't drink water. My nose was leaking. That's the dick you want to give. Anybody can sling dick. But if you want to give out good dick, Blue Chew is in the fucking house. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis at a fraction of the fucking cost. This ain't no snake dust. This ain't no hummus powder. This is Blue Chew, an online prescription service. No visits to the doctor, no awkward conversations, no waiting online at the pharmacy. This is science. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com. You talk to one of their licensed medical providers. Once you're approved, you receive your prescription within days. It's shipped right to your door, not in a creepy fucking envelope with a dick on it, or nothing like that. The mailman don't know dick. Nobody knows dick, just you. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped directly. Way cheaper than a pharmacy. So, I got a special for you for today, for Monday. Uncle Joe ain't gonna show up on a fucking Monday with nothing. You get Blue Chew for free. Try it for free. Use promo code Joey. Go to BlueChew.com, press in code Joey, and just pay $5 for shipping. That's it. It's that easy. That's BlueChew.com, promo code Joey, till you receive your first month for free. Give it a shot. $5 Take a chance. Columbus did. And as always, I want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring The Joint. The Joint is also brought to you by, oh shit, it's time to make a little fucking dough. DraftKings Sportsbook. I am having such a great time with them. Listen, you guys know that before I moved to Jersey, I think I put fucking 3 bets in those whole 8 years. This fucking year, this football season, I've been putting 20s here, 30s here. You fucking play around with the boosts. It's not just for sports. They have an online casino also. I love DraftKings. And this month, it's alley-oop cocksuckers. It's March. That means it's time for the biggest college basketball tournament of the fucking year. And to celebrate, DraftKings is going fucking completely bananas. You bet $4 on underdog. If they win, you win $256. Did you hear me? $4 on an underdog. If they win, you're up $256. That takes balls. That's why I'm with DraftKings. That's why I use DraftKings. That's why I love DraftKings. It takes $4 to get a shot at winning $256. The bank is open, bitch. If anyone knows about betting on an underdog, it's me. It's your Uncle Joey. Look at me now. I'm a fucking underdog. There's no better way to put your college basketball knowledge to the test than to put your money on a fucking where your mouth is with DraftKings Sportsbook. College ball ain't for you? That's okay. DraftKings has great odds and promotions on golf, hockey, NBA, fucking UFC, MMA, Bellator, whatever. They got it. DraftKings is America's top-rated sportsbook app. Plain and simple. It's safe, secure, reliable. Withdraw your money when you want. It's your fucking money. Now, who's better than DraftKings? Nobody. Who's better than you? Fucking nobody. That's why download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Today, let's get this fucking tournament started. Use promo code Joey when you sign up to turn $4. Listen to me. $4 into $256 if the underdog of your choosing pulls off the upset. That's code Joey to turn $4 into $256. And it's a limited time only. And it's at DraftKings Sportsbook. Today, right now, I want you to go to DraftKings Sportsbook right now and download the fucking app right now and tell them Uncle Joey sent you. But use promo code Joey when you sign up to turn $4 into $256. Fuck my fucking Patreon. Fuck the $3. Go put the $4 on a fucking underdog and win $256, okay? Now, here's the part the lawyers make me say. You gotta be 21 or older. If you're 20, go do something that 20-year-olds do. Go fucking smoke a cigarette and get dizzy or something like that. New Jersey, Indiana, PA only, Tennessee, new customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. You got a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in Indiana, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. But if you don't, and if you're fucking solid, and if you're emotionally fucking correct, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and tell them I fucking sent you, and it's time to make some fucking money. You understand me? I'm not talking about I'm not going to make you a millionaire, but it's fun. It's better than just sitting there like a fucking dunce. You're going to watch the fight, the game, the tournament, the golf fucking game anyway, right or wrong. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and press in Joey, and I'm going to fucking turn $4 into $256 for you. That's it, and that's that. I also want to thank CBD Lion, the best. And now they're surgery tested. Now I could really tell you what I think about CBD Lion. Tremendous. Whether it's the gummy bear, the kinesiology tape, the pills, the extra strength cream, the chocolate, the vapor. Listen, any way you want it, your days of complaining are over. Go to CBD Lion. Just read. Read up on CBN, CBD, CBY. Read up, learn. Learn the advantages, how they can help you. See how CBD Lion, they break it down for you. It's that simple. You just got to read. Get knowledgeable. What are you going to do? Go to a liquor store? You're going to go to a shoe store? Some fucking bodega and buy it from some guy that don't know? Give yourself a break. Go to CBD Lion right now, press in Joey or Church, and get 20% off. It's that fucking simple. All right? That's it and that's that. I love you guys. Have a great week. I'll be back Monday. Tip-top motherfucking Magoo. Ready for another fun-filled day with you cocksuckers, all right? I love you guys. Have a great day. Stay black. There you go.